is for both men and women, my next point. My next point is we have 5 senses. 5 senses that are crucial, right? Not only in everyday life, but with sex, okay? So, what are those 5 senses? Visual, auditory, smell, taste, and touch. Of all the 5, which is the most important? That was a quiz question, okay? Which one do you think is the most important one? Yep, you're right. All of them are important. Every single one of them are important. And they all work very well together. So if you can get all of those senses involved during your sexual interaction, you're going to have a blast. And even if you don't reach that orgasm that first time or the next few times, you will eventually, as you balance your hormones, as you practice, and as he practices too. And you guys get to know each other's senses and get to know what each other likes and doesn't like in the bedroom, okay? All right, so I have this questionnaire that I give my couples, my individuals that come into the office, and I do a little bit of relationship coaching too. So when I coach them, I actually give them a piece of paper and I say to them, okay, you take one sheet of paper, you take one sheet of paper, stay over there, I want you to fill this out, okay? So I want you guys to do this with me, okay? If you had the ability to create the most beautiful person in front of you, right? What would be number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 in chronological order? What would be your number 1? All right, I'm going to give you the 5, but I want you to put them in order. So take a pen, take a paper, write it down, okay? I'll give you 2 seconds. Paper, pen, let's get it together, okay? I want you to tell me, what would you put as number 1 in terms of importance, what you would want to create and what you would want the most important thing for this woman to have woman or man to have as you create this person, okay? Here we go. Just write them down first and then you're going to put the numbers beside them, okay? All right, so we have sex, looks, heart, which is love, brains, and money. Okay? Heart, sex, looks, brain, and money. Okay? All right. You've written them down, right? Okay. What is your number 1 in your creation? Your number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. There is no right or wrong. Please understand this. This is a matter of knowing who you are. So if you're couples out there, please don't show each other's the answer. Okay? If you're single, just write it down. Okay? I'm going to give you 2 more secs. Got it? Okay, 3 secs. 1, 2, 3. Okay, what'd you get? Whatever you got, you can now show your partner and you can see the comparison. You can see how far or how close you guys are when it comes to matching those requirements up, okay? There are many more questionnaires and tests that I do have, but this is a very quick one. And what does it do? It enables me, as your healthcare provider, to give you an insight as to who you are, okay? So let's do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's say somebody puts money number 1. Some people do, and I have no problem with that. After all, each person has the right to be and do what they like as long as it hurts no one else, right? And if they want money number 1, I'm cool. So there's a meaning for that. But the question now is, are they with someone that has money number 1 or not? So even though you are saying that that's what you want to create, you are actually reflecting yourself. And when you reflect yourself, you're actually saying what you're looking for. So remember, whatever you wrote down, that's actually what you're looking for, okay? So one day we'll talk again about that. okay? But I'm gonna go over to where I was talking about the senses, right? I always talk too much, but I'm gonna keep on talking. The senses, 5 senses. So, the most important one we already said was all of them. But let's talk about, because I wrote this down, let's talk about some of the senses. All right, let's talk about touch. Remember, this is all because when you have that orgasm, or when you're trying to achieve that orgasm, and the better orgasm, every time you do this by elevating your game, it involves these 5 senses. And again, I do believe in a 6th sense called the 6th sense, but right now I'm going to just focus on the 5. Later on we'll talk about the 6th sense, okay? So let's talk about touch. So I pause on touch because I will never forget when a friend of mine reached over to me and said how touch is so important to him. And I was much younger then, and I didn't really understand because I was more like busy working and just, not really into touch per se. I thought touch was just something that was part of having sex and part of a relationship. Yes, it's important, but I guess for some people, and again, each person needs to understand themselves, touch is a lot more than an ordinary person might say. Now, for me, there's no such thing as normal. Everyone is different. There's this range, this spectrum of all sorts of life. I don't care what it is. We're all going to be within a spectrum of it. So there is no such thing as normal. Now, could it be extreme on both ends? Yes. But when it comes to touch right now, I don't say that there's an extreme. I'm just saying that you've got to be aware of what you need to help you in terms of touch. So if you're going to touch, you're going to have to know how to touch, okay? Now, what do I mean? I mean, some people don't know how to touch. Okay, so these are our fingers. My nails have been cut off because, of course, we haven't been doing any nails. How do you touch? All right, so this particular friend of mine took my hand and just touched the surface like that. And, when he did that, I thought that was so beautiful. Now, maybe it was because we were at a party, had some drinks, and we were just talking, but he was trying to say that of all the 5 senses, for him, the sense of touch is the most important. And I said, I can see that. Isn't that interesting? So, touch can be in so many different ways, right? So, I'm saying touch in terms of the surface, but no, we know that touch involves every single thing from the top of the head, from your hair, your face, your neck, your ears, your breasts, your back, your arms, your hands, your belly button, the curve of your back, the buttocks, the legs, the knees, the back of the knees. Woo, that's a hot spot, right? Again, the legs and the toes and the feet. And of course, we all know the genital area, right? The genital area, of course, we know is the main area. But that sense of touch has got to be examined because we're not doing enough of it. You're right, guys. It is part of foreplay. Foreplay is where you're going to be touching most of the time. Even though I tend to say foreplay goes back to, did you guys help take out the garbage can? Did you guys help with paying some bills? Did you guys help with caring about, her everyday or his everyday activities before sex, a week before, 2 weeks before, a month before? Because women, I know we're complicated, we tend to remember those things, and it tends to come into our relationship, how you show love to us, okay? So very important to make sure those are covered, okay? Don't forget, foreplay starts way before the bedroom. Be helpful, be kind, smile, love, Love is a two-way street. My definition of love is a two-way street. All right, I digress. So when you are touching, it's very important to know the areas that she likes you to touch and not touch anywhere that she doesn't like you to touch, all right? So if she says she doesn't like something, you don't do it. Okay, that's common sense, right? But not only do I encourage you to touch other areas before you get to the groin, right? I'm going to encourage you to even give the sensation of touching without touching. Okay? All right. So, dancing, right? You can dance, right? You can actually, some people like to just lay by each other and just move along each other, their bodies just together, moving in the bed. So whatever is touched to you before the genitals touch, I want you to explore that. I do have some equipment that people do use, and I do recommend them to sort of like enhance, again, the sense of touch. For example, my oils. This is my sex oil. Okay, I have strawberry, blueberry, mango, and a natural oil. This is really a beautiful oil that I got from one of the farms, the emu farms. And if you use this oil, you'll find that it's not gooey, it's very natural, and it actually has some healing sensation to it, or function to it. It's actually anti-inflammatory. So it's emu oil with some other oils infused into it to make your interaction sexually, or even just for a massage. You can drink this. You can use it on the skin. You can use it on the hair as an everyday use. But I like to focus on the sexual use because it is amazing for oral sex, and for when women are dry, you can add that to help with the dryness. So that is a sense of touch, right? Using things to touch, like Wharton's wheel. I have a Wharton's wheel that I love to show patients that I can just run down their arm and just very lightly, right? You'll get a lot of pleasure from that. Now, again, not for everyone, only for those that like it. So you try it, they don't like it, you don't do it. They like it, you continue. And then you can go on, right? And that's where you start getting into that BDSM sort of arena where you actually have people that are inflicting pain. Now, I am not a pain chick, but if you are, I'm cool. I'm not saying I can't be in the future, but right now I'm not, because I guess I'm a wuss when it comes to pain. But for those that are, I always encourage you to have that, word that will make sure you stop when you don't want to go any further. We all know 50 Shades of Grey, right? But it's important to know that we all partake in a little bit of BDSM. We all do. Think about it. When a guy smacks your behind, your butt, what do you get? A little bit of discomfort, a little bit of pain. And when somebody says sit down, and you sit down, and submission and dominance and all of that, you have to understand that that is a little bit of BDSM on a very, very low scale, low scheme of things. But you must know what you will like and what you don't like. But you also must allow yourself to find out whether you like it or not. And don't poo-poo it. Don't frown and say, oh, that's not for me. Give it a little bit of a consideration. Think about it. Especially when you want to, please your partner. I get a lot of people that ask me, Dr. Kathy, what do I have to do because he wants me to do this, I don't want to do that. I say, okay, just think about it. First of all, just think about it. Because he's willing to do things for you, and you want to do things for him, and she wants to do things for you, and you don't want to do things for... So we always want to sort of like meet halfway, right? Try and meet halfway and see whether we can do something that will make each other happy. Now, not if it's going to make you distressed. You might need to get some help for that too. I always encourage people to reach out and get some help if it's something that's very simple that you don't want to do. You have to look always at the other side. I'm quit at doing that, looking at the other side, trying to figure out, okay, so if I did this, what would happen? If I did that, what would happen? If I wanted to believe in this or not believe in this, what would happen? I always tend to do that. What if? I encourage you to do that, because you might find out that, hey, it's not that difficult. But if it is, cool beans, just leave it alone. Okay? So again, when it comes to touch, you'll find that we really do not know how to touch. And I say that because many years ago, when I had a spa back then, I used to have estheticians that would touch patients, clients, their face and feel their face and massage their face and do chemical peels and do lasers and all that stuff. And their fingers were so in tune with the texture and the sensations and the feel of the skin. I said, where do you guys learn all this? And it's part of what they learn in school for the estheticians. That's what they learn when they go to school, to learn how to touch and how to feel. And I guess years of practice, they become very good at touch. So good that when I ask some of my patients, can you put your finger against this wall, right? And they would run their finger along the wall, and I would ask them what they would feel. And they would feel a smooth wall. And I would say, no, it's not smooth, right? So if you run your finger along the wall and you say it's smooth and it's not, you have problems with sensation, okay? And who has problems with touch? Who has problems with sensation? Can you guess? Yes, diabetics, all right? So diabetics will have problems with their sensation, not only in their fingers, but even in their genitals. And I'm saying men and women, okay? So take note, diabetics, your sensation is going to be screwed up because of the sugar doing damage to the nerve endings. I'm not saying you can't have great sex. I'm saying that could be a reason why you're not having great sex if you're not having great sex, okay? Because other things can make up for it. But always remember, improve your sugar, improve your circulation, because not only sugar, bad circulation, smoking, all that stuff, bad eating, bad diet, not exercising, drinking too much alcohol will all lower your sensation. So remember, please stop, okay? So back to sensation, you're going to have to realize that if you don't know how to touch when it comes to turning on her genital area, which we haven't even got to yet, we're going to leave that for last, okay? We're going to have a problem. So I've got to teach you how to touch. So we're going to pause right here, and on our next session, we're going to learn how to touch, okay? Thanks for your patience, y'all. See you next time. Ciao.